Boys and girls, welcome to BenchART. I'm for Classic, and for today what I do have in it is No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle, a game developed by Grasshopper Manufacture and ported over to the PC and Switch thanks to Engine software. So this game uses the same in-house engine as the first title. There is a difference in the release date, so the first game was released in 2007, this one was 3 years after 2010, but both run pretty much the same thing. I think it's the responsibility of the engine software that did port the game. So my objective today it is to see how this game performs on the Intel UHD 620, and these are the results that I had on this first level. So my recommendation it is for you to go with 720p using FXAA. What I got it was a locked 60 frames per second with 13% of the time dropping below of that. So the higher the resolution, obviously the bigger the drops and more frequent. So in my opinion, I think you should stick with 720p FXAA. So just like the first game, there is no graphical options for you to choose from. The only thing you have, it is a launcher before launching the game, which allows you to select if you want full screen or not, or what type of anti-aliasing you do want to use. So you do have like FXAA, 2 times multi-sampling anti-aliasing, 4 times, 8 times. The requirements, as you can see, they don't really specify that you can run with an Intel GPU. Well, more funny way is that there is not even AMD listed in here, but you can run with this Intel GPU as long as you go with 720p. But like I was telling you, the only graphical settings that you have, it is exactly like the first game. You just have like the full screen toggle, the anti-aliasing drop down menu for you to select what you want, but there is absolutely nothing more. There is no shadows, no texture quality, no nothing there, including the most shocking one, resolution. There is no way for you to select the resolution inside this game. And now you are thinking, but you did test with 720p, 900p and 1080p. How the hell did you change? Well, the only way that you have to change the resolution in this game, it is for you to go with your Windows settings and change the resolution, well, of your laptop. That sucks because if you have a 1080p screen, obviously you are using your screen at 1080p, but if you are using 768p, you are using that resolution. It makes no sense, in my opinion, for you to be dropping down the resolution of your Windows just to play a game. But we need to do it if you want the game to play properly with a good frame rate. So my recommendation, it is every time you start the game with this GPU, you need to change your Windows resolution to 720p and go play. And when you finish and you want your resolution back, you need to change it back on the Windows settings. I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I know that the game it is lightweight and that probably the developer team was assuming that any PC can run this, and at some part it is true, but still they could offer at least the graphical options for resolution. I think at least that would be a good idea. Alright, so that's it. Also the game uses a forced double buffered V-sync just like the first game, so it is essentially everything just like the first game. If you watched my video about the first game, the second game it is exactly the same. So this benchmark, this data that I did collect of benchmarking the game and those FPS numbers, those were without recording until the boss fight, because I didn't knew there was a boss fight coming. And the boss fight, it is more demanding than the moments that I did benchmark. But this only happens, for example, when there is a big explosion, and yeah, there are tons of that in this boss fight. But when that happens, usually the frame rate of the game drops to 30, but it gets back up immediately after... gets immediately back to 60 frames per second as soon as the explosion ends. So I think it is playable, and I think you shouldn't be afraid if you want to enjoy this game with your Intel UHD 620. As usual, just make sure your RAM it is running in dual channel and you are set to go and play No More Heroes 2. Alright, so now that I've talked about performance, let's talk a little bit about the game, shall we? No More Heroes 2 it is essentially just like No More Heroes 1, so it's ridiculous, it's funny, depending on what you find funny of course, but it is a funny game, it is not to take seriously, and the objective it is pretty much the same, it is to go and beat all the fighters, which in case of this game we have 50 fighters to beat. In case of the first one it was just I believe 11, I guess. And the second game we have theoretically more fighters for you to put down and to win the matches. There is still the ridiculous mini games that this game have, just like the first game. For the people that don't know, this is like Yakuza mini games that this game have to offer. And yeah, that's pretty much that. It is more of the same of the No More Heroes 1, and it offers not too much stuff new, alright? And also, there are stuff that is not available on the second game. For example, on the first game you have some sort of small open world, but you don't do anything in there aside from going from place to place to enable, for example, events or missions. So you don't really do anything in there aside of going to the places where you have the missions or the mini games or stuff like that. So because of that same reason, I think the developers reconsidered the usage of the open world, and now what we have, it is more of a Persona 4 and 5 approach. So what you have, it is a menu where you select where you want to go, and that's about it. So everything, it is much straightforward. You won't be losing time in the open world area of the game. The only thing you'll do, it is just select what you want to do. If you want to go to the mini games, if you want to go to the missions, and that's about it. So the game costs pretty much the same as the first game, so it costs 20 euros. I think it's a good price, despite the game it is old. It's a much better price than, for example, Shin Megami Tensei 3, which is also an old game, and the port it is bad. And still they are charging us $50 for the game. So $20, it is fine. It is the same price as the Yakuzas were. Each Yakuza also costed $20. So I think Grasshopper, it is doing a nice decision in here. Grasshopper are the developers. Probably they don't have their say on this, but still, this is a respectable price, alright, for the game, despite how old it is. No More Heroes 3, it is not available by the time of the video. It will be released for Switch, so I'm still going to hope for a PC version later. So I think that's all that I want to talk about No More Heroes 2. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the gameplay, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Bring it on! Yeah! Gotcha. Gotcha.
This must be karma. Travis touchdown.
Spare me the mystic crap. I came here to fight.
I see the rumors are true.
I don't know who's talking about me, but that nickname's all right.
Listen to me, your highness. These rankings mean nothing to me. Neither does my sect or the mob. My only true calling was to clash swords with you. That's why I joined this contest. I was starving for a worthy foe.
Then you're in luck, because I'm as worthy as he gets, and I've got a shit ton of anger to work out.
That's what I like to hear. This is it. This is what I've been praying for. I'm weary of this guilty world. Oh, glitter, no soul. Save me from sorrow, crownless king. Thy sword and thy wrath will deliver me.
You should go easy on that crazy punch. How about I just cut you a new one?
We'll both do as divinity commands.
Hallelujah.
Showtime.
Out of my way!
weak. Showtime. Showtime! Blast you! Blast you! Hey, give me
No!